Howdy, my name is Callum, also known as Northern Dice, and today I'm going to be unboxing my reviewer copy of Daimyo Rebirth of the Empire. This was sent to me by Hatchet Games. It's purely for unbiased review, so anything I say now is entirely based on first impressions. This is a game which I already feel has got a lot of theme to it, because looking at the strong samurai imagery across the entirety of the box, it just screams, well, proper dynasty era Japan. Let's have a zoom in and have a read of what it says on the box. On the ruins of a misunderstood civilization, the new daimyos are bringing about the rebirth of the empire. Drafting dice, crafting boards and managing resources are your new weapons in this strategy game. Expand your influence over the archipelago of the 6 islands and become the new emperor. So it is going to already, we know, have mechanics including a little bit of dice drafting, crafting boards and managing resources. All pretty bog standard stuff across games, but I am excited to get in because I'm looking at the back, analysing it a bit much, getting a bit excited, but really we should just be cracking open the lid. And we're greeted with a familiar face. It is this chap again. And then we have millions of punch boards, which I'll get someone else to do. So, just a quick look at this. Let's have a look at the history. Or is this going to be the exact same? Oh, it is not. It says, long after the end of the time of man, the few remnants of humanity have newly retaken the world, treading on the ruins of ancient civilizations. Within the archipelago of the 6 islands, the clans live according to an absurd reinterpretation of Bushido. You are a daimyo, a leader of a clan, and you want to become a new emperor of this archipelago. Apologies if I am butchering the pronunciation of these words. To do this, you must gain popularity. Send your governors to influence the local populaces, but they must remain wary of assassination by deadly shadows while your scavengers unearth glorious relics from long ago. Seize control of the archipelago with the help of the new heroes of this world. Okay. It's got a bit of lore to it, which I like. It is looking pretty... This is 1 to 4 players, by the way, so it shows you a 3-player setup, but it can be done solo. So I'm going to be interested to see how the actual gameplay differs, whether it is like an automa or whether it's just play for points. So playing the game, it explains your board. I always like it when they give you an example of things that happen. And you've got recruitment, relics, fair amount to this game. On Board Game Geek it is listed as like a 3.09, 3.1 I think, so mid-ish weight, not the heaviest, but enough to get your teeth into. My helmet end of the game, a 2-player game, so there is difference for 2 players. And then the solo mode. In the solo mode you're against the Empire, who has solo cards, so it's card driven, which is still quite nice. And then masterful achievements, so there's replayability in that, and then the don't forget. I imagine that's just rules that you need to know, and then explanations of some cards. Okie dokie. Right, let's have a look at these boards. So we've got this one, and you've got these which are split into 4s, which I think is a bit odd, but... Oh, what's that? Why are there headphones? What's that about? How weird. Oh, because you're on the... Because it's set on the remnants, the destruction of the old lands, so it's probably something to do with like artifacts or stuff. Okay. More punch boards, and then we've got some player boards, which are printed on relatively thick card. Bit disappointed there's nothing on the back, it's just pure white. I say this in many, I've not done an unboxing for a very long time, but in most of my unboxings I do always say if I get precious about it I can laminate it, but nothing on the back is a little bit disappointing, but one of those things. So we've got the many resources that we'll have, and no doubt we'll get baggies for these. I do like it when you get groups of resources. However, I prefer numbers to visual representations, but I guess since they're all in threes, it's not end up world, is it? Then we've got the big boy board. Oh my days, here we go. So this is, oh my days, absolutely massive. I will take a picture of this and post it on there, but we've got different trackers. Is this double-sided? So the actual playboard is double-sided, but the player mats aren't. How weird. We've got some more random bits. Oh, a lot. Okay, is that 4, 1 per player? There's some more under there as well. Oh my days. Okay, let's start with the Meeples, because I don't know if you can see, but those are custom, which I do like. We also have a bag, which you're probably going to draft from. We have some little cards. We have these, which are double-sided. Are they explanations for players or routine bits? I'm not sure. I always like going in blind on these because I never know anything. But I do notice that these have got edges, so do you build these accordingly, like going across? Then why are they split into 4s? I don't know. I should really do a bit of research beforehand, but these wouldn't be half blind if I did. So what have we got in here? Got some goal cards. So have the most influence on the 3 islands at the end of this round. So different independent roles which will determine your playstyle, which is quite cool. Have 10 units on the main board. I think it's important to have things like that in any game, because otherwise it gets stale and people will just stick to their known winning strategy. But if you've got active goals that change round to round, you are going to have to adapt, which I always like, and it always makes gameplay a lot more dynamic. Okay, we've got dice. And these dice are actually indented, engraved, which pretty standard dice, 1 to 6, but I do like the fact that they are. I am a fan for, you know, indented dice as opposed to printed. That's them. Let's go for the Meeple now. I can't resist any longer, and then we'll go for the cards. So we've got many Meeple. So I've just taken 2 out. There are differences between the Meeple as well, actually, so I will get all 4 out. That's very nice. A lovely touch. So just there, you can see that the different Meeple for each different clan are slightly different. So I'm a big fan of any game developer, designer, publisher that do something like this, because it means the game's accessible on a visual level for those who might be colourblind or have visual impairments, because it's not then dependent on colour alone, you've also got different shapes. I think that's just a really nice touch. It adds to the theme of the game and makes them all independent clans, but it then also makes the game possible to be played without needing to see the colours, which is always nice. Does that extend to all of these? I don't think it extends to the ninjas, or the assassins as they may be. But again, gorgeous, gorgeous little Meeple. 2 little assassins. Not a lot of difference in actual shape, so I imagine that's where the differences stop. But at the same time, they're really, really nice. Some of the coolest custom Meeple I have seen. What else we got? Got some, looks like a little chap who's digging, and then some gems. Alright then. We've also got some hexes. We've got a chap who's digging, and I have no idea what those are. And we've got another chap who's digging. Maybe the other guy was digging as well, he wasn't mining. And some gears. Alright, but that's what we've got there. Oh, there are 4 different colours, and then there's a purple one who's got the fans. Okay, okay, that's still pretty cool. These little houses, if they are houses, they may be, you know, machines of war. Nope, they are little houses as far as I can tell. Just nice little meeple houses, mouses. All of these meeples are really, really thick and sturdy as well. So if production value was going to go into anything, I think I can disregard the fact that the backs of the different player boards aren't unique and they're just plain white. If it's substituted for something like some gorgeously made different things that'll go on the board like these. And as much as, again, these aren't unique, they are incredibly thick, sturdy. I'm not sure how far onto the colour blindness spectrum these go, but green and orange I know are very close on that, along with blue and yellow. It shouldn't make that much of a difference, my hope is, because the fact that these are all different is such a lovely extra touch. Okay, I'm going to have to put all these in bags eventually. So these are going to be... I have no idea. No idea what the bag is for. No idea. But let's crack these open. So these have almost got like a wooden slatted back, which I'm hoping is thematic and not just standard cardstock backing. So we'll crack it open and see what we got inside. Oh, get off me. Oh my god. Okay, so they do differ. And then final scoring for popularity. So you've got some player aids. Let's start with these ones with the slatted backs. Ah, these are the solo play cards. Yeah, these are solo play. So I'll leave those for myself for another time. One of the reasons I did request a review copy for this one was because it had solo play and the theme. I mean, just that card back alone is stunning. Let's have a look at the artwork on these. So choose the face of one of your next die. Activate a bonus action that you have not unlocked. Recruit one shadow. Shadows they're called, not ninjas, shadows. For free, and it affects your recruitment track. Exchange up to 3 resources. Okay, pretty cool. And then you got some pretty standard stuff at the back. Draw one hero. Ah, these are your standard cards that you start with then. Okay, so everyone has a set amount of cards they begin with as well. Very cool. Right, I think I've looked at actually all the components. I do want to have a look at this board, but that's going to take a little bit of setting up, so you're going to have to bear with me on that one, and it may require me to do a bit of tidying, so there's going to be a bit of a voice change, so give me a moment, then I'll give you my final thoughts. Well, here's the board, and I have had to lift my camera up a whole nother foot off the table. This is taking up near enough my entirety of the width of my table. It is massive. If I were to compare it to any other board that I've played on that you may be familiar with, I'm thinking scythe size. But looking at it, I think, other than the gorgeous illustration, you've got your different regions. You've got your pink, purple player, you've got your yellow player, you've got your blue player, you've got your red player. This track, I'm assuming, is the recruitment track that they keep on referencing. Not a clue what these are. But I'm going to flip the board in a second, so we may realise that this is actually the solo board. We've got these down the side as well, but then we've got similarities across all the boards in that we've got different resources available, but it sort of differs across each. So pink, an example, get 1 gem, 2 coins, metal, but they don't gain any food. Whereas this player gets gems, iron, food, but no coins, and it differs that way. But then they get theirs in different locations, but they also get it in different locations. So I'm not entirely certain how it works and whether there is a player advantage in terms of which one you go for. But then again, that's determined by what the cards actually do and how you need to spend the resources. So let's just try and flip this board if we can, to see if there are any differences. Oh, there are. Woohoo, look at that. So in this one, we actually have extra players. We have a grey player and we have a red player. Does that mean that there is a Daimyo expansion? I don't think there is. Just a quick Google has told me that I don't think there is. But that then may be a different way of playing. I have genuinely no idea. Because even these say 1, 3, or let me just push that up so you can see it. Get out of the way. That's just going to fall. Even these down here say 1, 3, 4. So unless this is the 3-player board, 1, 3 and 4-player board, and the other side is just the pure 2-player board. How weird. This is going to take a little bit of unpicking, a little bit of learning, but all games do, I guess, anyway. I'm really excited for this because the board, actually looking at it, is stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. The colours just pop right off the board, but everything seems to almost make sense in itself, that you've got your obvious elements on the board. Of course, I don't know what everything does yet, but just by looking at this, I can see what each sort of category you've got that is quite similar across each region, for example. This side, I can see a fan. I'm not entirely certain. I'm assuming this is for player order. It's thrown me. I'm going to have to sit down and learn this. But I'm very excited to get to it. I think the components quality is absolutely astounding. The player backs, as I've said, I don't like some sort of illustration, but I'm a sucker for aesthetics. Card explanations were quite clear. The rule book looked really, really thorough. I like the fact it gave examples. I'm excited to get this to the table. As always, thank you ever so much for sticking around for so long, listening to me ramble and get overly excited about a game I've not done any research on. I am going to be getting this out tonight. Solo or not, I'm going to be playing this tonight. Anyway, thank you ever so much for sticking around. As always, I will catch you next time.